Hola clase. I'm going to do the first part of this PowerPoint to teach you guys or review with you guys el verbo ser. So hopefully you guys remember this verb from Spanish 1, and if you don't, pay close attention and make sure you're taking detailed notes because it is a pretty important verb and we're going to be using it throughout the duration of this course. So it's important that you know how to use it and what it means. Okay? All right. Sorry. So el verbo ser is one of two verbs in Spanish that means to be. Okay. There are two verbs that mean to be, and ser and the verb to be it's not necessarily thought of as a verb because most people, when they think of verbs, they think of action words. So sometimes it can be a little tricky when you're using this verb because people forget that it is a verb, but it does mean to be, and it's meant to be used as talking about the state of being. So it's a pretty important verb, and hopefully it's not too difficult, but it is an irregular verb. All right, so let me talk to you a little bit about this verb and its use. All right, since there are two verbs in Spanish that mean to be, it's important that you learn, first of all, how to change them to fit the subject, and second of all, when to use one and not the other. So learning ser is going to be pretty important, but first let me talk to you about how it's changed. So ser is an irregular verb. It conjugates irregularly, so it doesn't follow the pattern like most verbs would. You can drop the ending and then just give it a new ending to fit the subject. It's irregular, so you're going to have to remember its conjugation. All right, first of all, for those of you who it's been a while since Spanish 1, yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ustedes, ellos, ellas. These things that just popped up on the screen are called your subject pronouns. They're pretty important when it comes to conjugating verbs because you have to know them. All right, so yo just simply means I. Okay, tú is your informal you. This is the one that would get used with your friends or your peers, someone who's younger than you, someone you're really familiar with. Usted is you again. So in Spanish, we do have two forms of the you. It's going to be your formal you. This is going to be the you that you're going to use with like an adult, someone of authority. And hopefully this is ringing bells from Spanish 1. El and ella means he or she. All right? He or she. And so when you're looking at this conjugation, guys, remember that this is your singular column. All right? This is when you're talking about one individual. So this is he or she. All right? This column over here is going to be your plural column. All right? So you have a singular column, plural column. Nosotros means we. All right? And nosotros can have a different form as well. It could be nosotras if your group is a group of females. Okay? So nosotras. Vosotros is the same thing. You can have vosotras. And it just means you all. This gets used in Spain, vosotros. Ustedes is you all again. This gets used in mostly Latin America. And then we have ellos and ellas. They both mean they. And hopefully you remember from Spanish 1 that this is a group, a masculine group, and this is a female group. This could be a female group with one masculine man, and you still use ellos. So be familiar and familiarize yourselves again with subject pronouns because you're going to see them and use them a lot throughout the duration of the course. So it's just yo, I, tú, you, usted, you, él or ella, he or she, nosotros, vosotros, ustedes, ellos, and ellas. Guys, these are just subject pronouns. They're just used to replace proper nouns. So instead of saying Nancy, my mom, it's she. All right? All right, so how to conjugate this verb? Then it's irregular. So in the yo form, it would be yo soy. I am. All right, soy means am. Soy is the verb, am. Yo soy. Tú eres. You are. All right, eres is are. Am, are. Usted es. And we have él, ella, es. All right, so what I want to point out here is that, let me get my pen again, is that this here, go all the way across with it. This is third person. All right, so hopefully you guys remember from Spanish 1 creating T-charts, right? Oh my gosh, it's scary. It's coming back again. All right, this is all third person. So while usted does mean you, it conjugates in third person. Guys, what that means is I can use usted to address a person and talk to them face to face, but I'm going to change the verb as if I'm talking to them in third person. All right, usted es. This is still a second person conversation. I'm talking directly to someone. It just conjugates as if it were a third person verb. All right, tú eres is second person. So we have, guys, on this chart, on this row here, going across this way, this is first person. This is second person. And this is third person. All right, so, and that's all the way across on both sides. So you have first person singular, first person plural. I am in it, nosotros. Second person singular, second person plural. I'm talking directly to you all. And then we'll see that again, that it's going to do the same thing on the other side. So we have nosotros, somos, we are, somos is are. Vosotros sois. Ustedes son. Y ellos son, or ellas son. They are. All right, guys. This is the conjugation. It can be a little tricky, but you have to just make sure that you're studying it and practicing it as much as you can. If you have any questions about the verb conjugations or subject pronouns, please feel free to email myself or your instructor. I know they'd be willing to help you out. I know this can be a little bit of a tricky mindset for a lot of our students. So don't be frustrated or nervous with it. Just practice and make sure that you're studying this chart, okay? All right, so when to use said. This is pretty important. And the acronym for said that a lot of us use is doctor. All right, acronyms are just words that are used to memorize certain phrases or memorize certain uses for things. So we're going to use doctor for said. Each letter represents a certain way to use said. So we have the D, description. O, origin. C is your characteristics, personality traits. T is time, date. O is your occupation, and R is relationship. So this first part of the PowerPoint, there'll be a second part here, is just going to cover the doc part, DOC, and then I'll create another video to cover time, occupation, and relationship, okay? So let's start with the D, ser para describir. All right, so ser is used to describe what an object is made of or how it is. So when we're talking about objects, we're going to use ser here, okay? What's important to know is that when you are talking about objects and what it is made of and how it is, and you're describing it, you're going to need this preposition de. It is pretty important, guys. It just means of or from. Of or from, so that means of or from. Sorry, that's from. All right, and so you're going to need to know that. You're going to see that a lot in this course, and make sure that you're familiar with this preposition de. All right, so let me show you how it's used then. Here's an example sentence, and we have it in Spanish and in English. So let me start with the English. The shirt is made of cotton. All right, in English, can you spot your verb? All right, the verb in English, sorry. The verb did not mean to go that far. All right, so the verb in English is. All right, this is your verb. The shirt is made of cotton. If you go back and you wrote down your chart, you have I am, you are, he or she is. So let me just make something clear. In that chart, when you're looking at it, and it has the 3 parts, right? You have first person, second person, and third person, correct? And then you have your singular column and your plural column. So I or we. I am by myself. We are plural. I am still in this conversation. You by yourself. You all. He or she by himself. They. All right. Objects are going to fall under third person. So if it's a singular object, you're on this side. All right. If it is a plural object, you're on this side. All right, so make sure you add that into your conjugation chart. Objects fall under third person. So it's I, you have am, is, am, are, is, and so is under that third person. Okay, hopefully I'm making sense. If not, record it or rewind it or go back and listen to it again. Okay, so when you're talking about objects, it's under third person. All right, so the shirt is made of cotton. Look at it in the Spanish section here. We have la camisa es, there's your verb again, de algodón. Well, camisa is your subject, and we're talking about a shirt. It's an object. Again, la camisa es de algodón. This la here is a Spanish article, and remember, this indicates that it is a singular object. All right, singular object. Sorry if my writing looked like chicken scratch. All right, so whenever you're stating what an object is made out of, you're going to use said. Let me show you one more. Okay. Sorry. All right, I have this one here. The shirts or the shoes. The shoes are made of leather. Again, can you spot your verb? All right, so your verb here is are. All right. Your subject in this sentence is the shoes, and again, we're talking about objects, things here. So subjects is a shoe, and it's an object, and it's going to be your plural subject. So shoes would fall right here. All right, your shoes, they. So in Spanish, you're going to use that son. All right, los zapatos son de cuero. And again, when you're talking about objects in Spanish, you're going to have to use your articles, and this is a plural article. All right, it is a plural article. All right, so said is used to describe what things are made of or how it is. And so here's some interrogative words that you might use if you're creating a question or somebody might ask. All right, so interrogative words, guys, are just question words. There are going to be a few of them throughout this slide. So interrogative words are question words. You might want to pause that and write this down. Interrogative words are question words. They are your who, what, when, where, why words. Okay, how. All right. So you're going to see that throughout the slide. So you have some up here. You have de qué es. And you guys, do you remember what I said de meant? It means of. Of. Or from. In this way, in this sense, it means of. Of what is it? All right? Or what is it made of? Is what this question is asking. De qué es? What is it made of? All right? De qué es? Or cómo es? Cómo means how. So how is, and then if you're talking about an object, it would be implied. All right? It's implied because of how the verb has been changed. So cómo es. So you could ask this question. ¿De qué es la camisa? I can almost finish that sentence. ¿De qué es la camisa? And then I would use the phrase that I just showed you in the previous slide to answer it. Well, la camisa es de algodón. La camisa es de, and then whatever it's made out of. All right? All right, so said para describir. All right, to describe what something is made of or how it is. All right, the next part of doctor is origin. All right, said can be used to tell where somebody is from. Hopefully you remember this from Spanish 1 because this is one of those common phrases that you would learn. All right, so if you're going to say that I am from Miami, and that is exactly where I'm from. All right, so I am, that's your subject here is I. So hopefully you guys realize that the equivalent to I in Espanol is, no, not white. The equivalent is yo. All right, so we're using ser here. So the example would look like this. Yo soy de Miami. All right, so then in order to create this sentence, you're just going to follow this format. You're going to conjugate the verb to fit the subject, use the and your origin. Now look, I did not include here your subject, and this is important because you're going to see a lot of sentences where it just starts out saying yo or soy de. All right, soy de, and then you would say where you're from. So this week you guys are going to have to practice with that. And so that's going to be one of those things. You can say soy de. What happens in Spanish then is we are able to exclude the subject yo because soy conjugates only for yo. So you're going to see this a lot in Spanish where this will get omitted. You can use it, and it's okay to use it. It's not wrong or incorrect at all. A lot of people will just cut it out. All right, so you have this this phrase here, tú eres de. Tú, if y'all remember, I just said, tú was, well, sorry guys. This pen's giving me trouble. All right, so tú means you. So you are, and then remember, this is from, of or from, and since we're talking about origin, de here means from. All right, so you are from, and then where are you from? All right, so when you're being asked this question, what does it look like? So then you have this interrogative word. Guys, remember, I just said interrogative words are question words, right? I'm sorry, guys. I'm learning how to use this, and it is not the easiest little tool. All right, so de donde eres. Your interrogative word, your question word here is de donde. Donde means where. All right, so where from? Where are you from? Where are you from? You could add, you'll see questions where de donde eres tú, all right, would be added in there. All right, or sometimes it's omitted, just like we did here. And it's omitted because, again, eres is only changed for tú. It's only ever going to be used for tú. Eres, tú eres. All right, so de donde, from where. All right, de donde, from where. All right, you'll see donde sometimes used by itself, and that's just, oh, guys, hold on. Sorry, you'll see donde used by itself. Okay, and that just means where. All right, but if you're wanting to ask origin, where someone is from, de must be used. All right, de donde eres. Without the de there, donde eres is where are you, not where are you from. All right, where are you? All right, so make sure that you understand that interrogative word or that question word. All right. All right, last but not least on this video is ser para indicar características. Guys, this one is important. This one we're going to use throughout the next week or two, and you're going to be creating a family album here shortly. So you need to make sure that you understand how to use ser to talk about your characteristics. All right, so when you're talking about characteristics or permanent traits, guys, what I want to make note of here is that, ser is your to be form that should be thought of more as a permanent, it's a permanent frame of thought. So your permanent traits, your permanent characteristics. I am. All right, so if you're going to state I am and then talk about a characteristic, all right, so it's I am, maybe you're going to say I'm tall. All right, guys, once you've reached a certain height, you're probably not going to get too much shorter. I mean, some women, as they get older, tend to shrink just a little bit, but that's generally thought of as a permanent characteristic. If you see a tall boy, he's not tall today and then short tomorrow. He's going to be tall all the time. All right, so just think of it as like a permanent trait, a permanent characteristic. All right. So when you're looking at it, you have this statement here. The boy is very handsome. Again, you got to be able to locate that verb in the sentence is. All right, that is your to be form. He is very handsome. Again, thinking of the boy, I'm not talking about myself. I'm not talking directly to the boy. I'm talking about him. This would be third person. So in Spanish, the translation for that would look like this. El niño. El niño is the boy. The niño is the boy. All right. And then you would use third person form of the verb singular. It's just one boy. We're not talking about multiple boys. Es. El niño es. So you have your subject and then you have your verb, and you have to make sure that those agree. Okay? Have to make sure those agree. El niño es. Now, let's talk about adjectives. Guys, you have a list of adjectives in this module that I kind of want you to use this week with that. That list of adjectives is broken up into two types of adjectives. You have characteristics, and then you have personality traits. All right, characteristics are physical characteristics, and personality is how you are. Your personality, and so just make sure that you're looking at that. So when the important thing that you need to know is that adjectives have to agree with the subject that they are describing. So adjectives describe the subject. Adjectives describe subject, they're descriptive words, and they have to agree with the subject in number and gender. All right, what that means is you have this list of adjectives, and you've got to make sure that it correlates with the person that you're talking about. And guys, the really big thing about this is that in Spanish, we do something a little funky. A minute ago, I just gave you the example of I am tall, right? Well, tall in Spanish is alto. Okay, to say that I am tall. Well, if I'm a female, which I am, the O in alto would change to an A. All right, to match myself. Right? But if I wanted to do and jump over to the first person plural and say we, I'm still in it, right? But now we're more than one people. So we are, when English, we just say we are tall, right? When Spanish, we do something a little funky. We say we are talls, which is an awkward concept for you guys, all right? We don't do this in English. We don't pluralize our adjectives. So this is going to be something that you actually have to pay attention to and make sure that you are making the effort to actually do. So we would never say we are talls, but in Spanish we do just that. Say we are talls. Nosotros somos altos or altas. All right, so let me show you this list here. All right, you have this list in the PDF format, but I wanted to show you something. If the adjective ends in O in its original form, if the adjective ends in O in its original form, like alto, there are four different ways that this adjective can get changed. You have alto or alta, all right, that's going to go on your singular side of your chart. Then you have the plural form, so you have either alto or alta. I jumped ahead of my words. Oh gosh. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Let me try this again. Bear with me. So you have your singular side. Okay? And then you have your plural side. And I'm going to show you both ways. So if it ends in O, you have either alto or alta, depending if it's a male or female. Okay? If there's more than one person, all right, it's altos. altos, if it is a masculine group, or altas, if it is a feminine group. All right, so if you're saying my grandmothers are tall. All right, mis abuelas son altas. I would use this form here. All right, if the adjective ends in O, there are 4 forms. So if it ends in O, there are 4 forms. Okay, it ends in an O. All right, if you're taking notes, I would write this down. All right, then, if the adjective ends in an E, there are only 2 forms. You just add an S to it. All right, so like we have inteligentes, right? Inteligente. Yo soy inteligente, or nosotros somos inteligentes. All right, we are smarts. Now that's weird. Okay, we don't do this in English, so it's going to take that extra effort to do. Now, if it ends in an A, like this one here, deportista, I'm sports minded. All right, there's really just 2 forms. And the deportista can be used for a male or a female. All right, if it ends in A, there's only 2 forms. So there's 2 forms if it ends in A. Okay, it's a singular and then it's a plural. If it ends in an E, there's 2 forms, singular and a plural. All right, so just make sure that you are really looking at your adjectives and that you are making sure that they agree. If it ends in a consonant, like joven, right over here, all right, it's actually going to have jovenes. If it ends in a consonant, you have to add this es. Okay, that ends in a consonant as an es, joven. If it and then this way, just so you know that jovenes has an accent mark. All right, and then if you have any questions about adjectives, guys, the website that I use a lot is Word Reference. All right, so get familiarized, practice your adjectives, use that Quizlet to practice your adjectives and memorize what they mean, and being able to format those sentences where your subject agrees with the verb and the adjective agrees with the subject. This is very important, okay? And so let me do one more thing with you guys. I'm going to practice, and bear with me because this PowerPoint is funky. There you go. It's going away. All right, so let me do a few example sentences with you. All right, so we have Jake. Here's Jake. He is not my cat. I don't have cats, but we're going to call him Jake. All right, so if we were to describe Jake here, I am going to go with automatically that he is fat. Obesity is catching up to him. It's real, okay? So to create a sentence to say that he is fat, it's very simple. I have my subject, Jake. Jake. I can also replace Jake for a subject pronoun, él. All right? I could say él, or I could say the cat, el gato. Okay? Either one of these would work. You have Jake, you can address him by his real name. You have él, okay? That's an accent mark. Or you could have el gato. Either one. All right? All of them are acceptable subjects. All right, but for every single one of these, this is in third person, and we're only talking about one person, singular. All right? So Jake, that means that the verb that you would need would be es. Jake es, él es, or el gato es is fine. All right, so we're talking about Jake, and we need to have a subject to go with it, or an adjective, I'm sorry, and we just said that we're going to call him fat. All right, so Jake es, and if you look at your list, it would be gordo. All right, Jake es gordo. Now, what if Jake wasn't Jake, and Jake is now Sue? I don't know. Susie. Or Susan, your cat. Okay, maybe you name your cat Susan. I don't know. Then your subject would change, all right? And we wouldn't have El anymore, all right? We would have Susan. All right, your cat is a female cat. So you could have Susan, you could have ella, or you could have la gata. That's weird, but that's exactly how you would say it. All right, so Susan. All right, then I would still use, because I'm talking about one person, all right, I'm still talking about one person, I would still use es. So Susan es, ella es, or la gata es. And then I want to use the same adjective, okay? I want to use gordo. But because she is a female and it ends in O, I'm going to change it to gorda. Ella es gorda, or la gata es gorda. All right. So guys, understand that what we're doing here is where there's like three parts to the sentence, and you're having to make all of it agree. All right. The subject always has to agree with the verb. Subject and verb agreement is very important. Hopefully you remember that from Spanish 1. And now we're adding in this adjective, which I'm hoping you guys did in Spanish 1, and this is just a review, and it's all ringing bells. Okay. So let me try to do another example with you. All right, so the next one here would be Betty Boo, and she is a character from Animaniac, but I couldn't tell you. Okay, hold on. I couldn't tell you who she is. If y'all can figure out who she is and what her name is, please let me know, because I don't know. I just found it. All right, Betty Boo, characters, cartoon characters. All right, so we need to describe them. All right, so this is a group then of two females, plural. All right, so remember, guys, from your chart, you have two plural females. That would be on this plural side. All right, now you have first person, second person, and third person, correct? So we're wanting to figure out how you would change this verb. So we're talking about they or these girls, all right? That would be the ellas form. Okay, it's a female group. Ellas. So they're going to fall right here in the plural side. Ellas. All right, so now I need to make sure that I got the correct form of the verb. So if I'm starting my sentence, I could say ellas. If I knew the real names, then I could use the proper names here and take out ellas, but I don't know the real names. If y'all figure it out again, try to message me or something, or add a comment on the bottom of this video, and maybe I can give you extra credit or something. All right, so you have ellas. Then we're using the verb ser. So look at your chart. It would be ellas son. And then we need an adjective to describe them. So now we have our subject. Our verb is matching our subject. So we have this agreement here. We're good. We need an adjective. All right, so if I were to describe them, thinking of an adjective, I'm going to say that they are pretty. All right, so, or attractive. They're pretty or they are attractive. Either one could work. So I could use either here. I could use guapos, or I could use bonito, if you're looking at your list. All right, guapo means attractive. Bonito means pretty. And either one would work here. So I've got to make sure that I put that down. So I'm going to go with guapo. All right, here is the adjective, guapo. All right, but because they are girls, I'm going to end it with a, guapa. And because there is more than one, remember adjectives have to agree in number and in gender. So it would be guapas. Ellas son guapas. If I were going to use bonito, ellas son boni. Change the O to an A and make an S. Bonitas. All right, guys, so you're just making sure that your adjective agrees with your subject. Adjectives agree with the subject in number and gender, and that the verb agrees with the subject as well. So you have all of these guys that are just kind of working together to format this like correct sentence. All right, guys. Well, hopefully that this is a good explanation, and you guys are going to have enough practice, I'm sure, throughout the week. Make sure that you're doing those practices and that you're submitting your work. And if you have any questions about the first three parts of doctor for the verb said, please email me, email your instructor, ask questions. We're going to open up a discussion board probably just to make sure that everybody's understanding. If there's any confusion, guys, please ask. Don't, it's okay not to understand and it's okay not to know. It's not okay not to ask and be lost, okay? So make sure that you rewind and relook at this if you need to, ask questions, and make sure you're studying. And I hope that this was helpful. All right, guys.